Hello guys, it's Chummaster here doing another Beyblade video, this time another Beyblade discussion, kind of a news type of week. So yeah, this is we've been getting a lot of news this week for Beyblade, and looks like we finally have everything for the November releases, which we have 2 sets and a booster. We'll start off with a booster, but yeah, there's quite a lot here though, so yeah, it'll be interesting to talk about. I'm actually not the biggest fan of this month, to be honest, so we'll talk about that. Kind of why I don't like some things, and why I think other things are actually pretty good. But anyway, we'll start with the booster, which is, of course, RhinoHorn 380 Spike. So this thing, let's just start off with 380. 380s reused, I mean, sure, whatever. I don't think we should be reusing this many ratchets, but anyway, it's there. Spike reminds me kind of Orb, and kind of how Orb was like a smaller ball. Spike is a smaller needle, effectively, from what I could tell. Again, I mean, sure, I guess. Why not? Yeah, bits haven't been overly interesting, I have to say, so... Yeah, I mean, whatever. Anyway. The RhinoHorn blade, there we go. It looks decent, nothing crazy, just looks okay. Kind of boring, honestly, but yeah, it's fine. The color scheme looks decent. Overall, just a pretty boring bay. Not too interested in RhinoHorn overall. Yeah, just very okay looking to me. So let's move on to the sets. So the first set we actually have is the DranDagger deck set. So you have 3 bays in here. And we'll start with the kind of 2 other pulls. So not other pulls, other bays. It's a set, not a random booster. So first up we have Night Shield 580 Taper. Taper, I guess, I mean, yeah, I don't know, that's kind of whatever, but 580, actually a pretty solid one, although we have 2 sets here, and there's 6 total bays. We only have 6 ratchets, so I guess they had to use 580. I don't think they had a choice, but it's still nice to see 580 regardless. So yeah, cool. And then also Night Shield, the blade, another one? I don't know. We'll talk more about that in a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. It just feels like it's a little bit lacking, I guess. Another Night Shield. Yeah, I don't know. So, it's purple. I guess that's kind of cool. Why not? Kind of wish it was yellow, to be honest, since we already have, like green, blue, red. I don't know, yellow would have been kind of cool, but also purple is really nice, so I'm not going to complain too much. Yeah, it just looks okay. I don't know, I'm not excited for it really. Then we have the other one in here. Shark Edge, 380 flat, 380 again. You gotta get 380 somewhere, so here it is. Flat, sure I guess, and then also Shark Edge. So yeah, Shark Edge is probably the best part about the November releases. Getting a confirmed Shark Edge is great. Obviously it was in a random booster. There were 2 Shark Edges, but again, both of them being locked in the first random booster was just kind of rough. So nice to get it here at the very least. So that's pretty exciting, I guess. For anyone who doesn't have it, because it's not the main color, but hey, who cares? If you want to battle, here you go. Don't have to shell out like $60+ for the prize. So pretty nice. Next up we have the main bay of the set, DranDagger 460 Rush. Where do I start with this thing? I guess we'll go ratchet, blade, and then bit. That'll be the order I go in. 460 is incredibly stupid for this bay. This should not have a 4-sided ratchet. Again, that is really stupid. I don't understand why they chose a 4-sided ratchet. That was, yeah, just not a good idea overall. I don't agree with that. I think 360 would have made sense here, actually, if they want to reuse a ratchet. Or better yet, make a new ratchet. Why not do 660? That would have worked perfectly here. But no, 460, like one of the worst choices they could have had here. Well, not one of, but like, I think a 3-sided one or just a new 6-sided one would have been the best choice. But nope, 460. Okay. Anyway, after that, the DranDagger blade is it's decent. Like, I actually like the gear bit quite a bit. I think the gear chip. The gear chip looks decent. I like the dragon design they have going on there, and the overall blade being 6-bladed. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's a little bit awkward after having Drawn Sword be 3-bladed. I don't know how to feel about the the 6 blades there. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but I don't know about that one. Next up here we have the bit, the most interesting thing in this entire wave of Beyblade X, and that is Rush. So the Rush bit looks like it's maybe a bit taller than a normal flat, and also actually smaller than a normal flat, so it might not be as crazy. It'll still go, quickly around the stadium, but it won't be as crazy as flat. However, with the actual gear part of the bit, normally they have 12 notches. Of course, connect to the stadium. This one only has 10, which means it should actually go faster around the stadium compared to the average bit. I mentioned this a long time ago, but this is kind of something I wanted to see. I wanted to see bits that have different kind of gear parts. Do something like that. Have maybe different shapes or even, different materials. Have like a rubber bit, for example. That would be really cool. But hey, I'll take this. It's not great, honestly. I feel like eventually I'm hoping to look back on this and be like, man, that was what we considered interesting back then. But hey, for now, it's something. It's a step in the right direction, so I'm happy to see that they're at least changing up how the gear is looking on the bit. Nothing groundbreaking, but it is something. So yeah, this bit should be slower normally, but crazier on the extreme line, which is kind of crazy to think about, honestly. Like, I don't know how that'll perform. Very curious to see how that is. But yeah, overall, Rush is looking really, really nice. And the rest of the bay, the blade is whatever, and the ratchet's stupid. Anyway, moving on to our last product, the other set here. That is, of course, going to be the HellsChain deck set. So, as far as the other two bays in here go, first up we have a Wizard Arrow 480 needle. Again, Wizard Arrow. I mean, I like Wizard Arrow, but like, we just have so many of them. It is orange, which is cool, I guess, but still, like, man, we just keep getting like the same bays over and over, Talk about that more in a bit. But yeah, 480, had to get it somewhere. Sure, why not? And then needle, I guess, whatever. Sure. Anyway, more importantly though, Night Lance 360 low flat. So we have not gotten a Night Lance recolor yet. So cool to see one. Here it is, yellow, which is interesting. Kind of wish we got a yellow Night Shield and the purple Night Lance, but whatever. Still looks fine to me. I don't mind yellow, so this is an okay recolor. And then also 360 low flat. 360 had to get it somewhere. Here it is. And low flat. This is the prize bit from Random Booster Volume 1. Actually, pretty nice to see it here. I am a big fan of that. So, yeah. Overall, really, really cool. And also, interestingly, if you get both sets, you can take this Night Lance and take the 360 and the low flat, take the Shark Edge from the other set, and then combine it, and you have a stock Shark Edge. A recolor of it anyway, so if you want to do that, there you go. There is your recolored Shark Edge, which is actually pretty nice. So there you go. Kind of a hidden extra, like, third important bay here is a stock Shark Edge, because I know a lot of people probably did not get that. So, yeah, there you go. It's a nice little feature if you get both sets. So anyway, moving on to the final bay here, and that is HellsChain 560 High Taper. So we'll go top to bottom here. So the HellsChain blade, okay, first up the gear chip, slightly different design, side-facing motif. You know what, sure. I kind of prefer HellScythe in terms of the gear chip, but this one's still pretty nice. Also, it's now 5-sided instead of 4-sided. It also has like a slightly different design, like with a little bit of a chain design going on, which is like kind of neat, but it's not like that interesting. It's just like a slightly different thing. And again, the blades are very similar, but instead of having 4, you have 5. Wow. What a discovery. Anyway, the ratchet being 560, again, would have preferred something new here. However, at least this ratchet makes sense. It's 5-sided, 560. Hey, that's sensible, for once. So there you go. And then after that, high taper. Why? I'm assuming that the actual bottom part will be slightly altered, as, like things like low flat and high needle were. So I guess there's that. Also, it's just a slightly taller, maybe kind of altered taper. Kinda wish they did something new here. Would have been cool to maybe see a Rush counterpart, maybe have something different for like the gear or something, but no. High taper. Kinda boring. I guess it's like not the worst thing, it's at least a new bit. They didn't just reuse taper or something, but yeah. So that's everything for the actual releases. I had a couple of other things to say. First up, part selection is not actually ideal here. I'm kind of whatever with the booster. I mean, getting 380 there, whatever, I guess. But like the other stuff, so far, if you count every mainline bay, I'm not going to count Dronzer. I'm going to count Cobalt Drake though. So you have 12, 12 mainline X bays so far. We have 6 ratchets. At first, it doesn't sound too bad, you know, one in every 2. However, the problem is, 4 of those ratchets came in the first wave when X first started. So that means of the 8 releases we've gotten since then, only 2 of them have had new ratchets. That's actually pretty terrible. I think something here should have had a new ratchet. I really, really think that we should have gotten something here. I think DranDagger and HellsChain should have had new ratchets, personally. Maybe give DranDagger like 660, and then maybe give HellsChain like 570. I think that would have worked perfectly fine. Again, give us a new, you know, sort of contact point amount, then give us a new height finally. We still only have 60 and 80, that's all we have, you know. I think that really would have helped out HellsChain, especially with something like High Taper. Kind of not as interesting as Rush if they kept that, you know, 570. Okay, it's a new height, that's actually pretty big. Cool. Would like to see something like that, but unfortunately we just didn't get that. Also, the bit selection, kind of a massive L, honestly. Not really too interested in the bit selection here, again. Like, low flat, I'll take low flat, that's perfectly fine by me. But aside from that, it's, you know, the 3 of the 4, we just don't get bald, but like, flat, taper, needle, like, why? Why not give us high needle? And then also give us orb and point. Give us the 4 more recent bits that we haven't really had as many of, you know? Again, we don't need to get any of these original parts anymore, except really for like the ratchets, because again, even with 2 new ratchets, we would add, you know, probably put 560 with another pull in here, and then like keep 580. Again, I guess then you have to reuse some ratchets at some point, which is fine, but like, should have only been using 2 ratchets from the first wave, in my opinion, and then also, again, all the bits should have been something that was not from the original lineup. Also, the blades, again, you have Night Lance and Shark Edge in here, 2 new blades overall. We do not need more we don't need more Wizard Arrows or more Night Shields. They really should have put Leon Claw and Viper Tail in here. I think these would have made the sets way more interesting if they just strayed away from the original 4 as much as possible, because we've just gotten them too much at this point. Again, we had the original, you know, starter versions, we had the boosters for a couple of them, we had the original 3x3 deck set, we had the Start Dash set, Random Booster Volume 1, the entry set we're getting in October, well actually we just got in October. All of these just have like the original 4 for the most part, except for the Random Booster, which has, you know, Shark Edge, but still. We can use some other things, I think, and I think they really should have used some of the more recent stuff. Yes, I know that things like Leon Claw and Viper Tail have not been out for long, but I think it would have been way better to get some recolors of these compared to some of the older stuff that we just have way too many recolors of already. That's kind of my problem with this month, is that a lot of the stuff in here is just kind of boring in that regard. So yeah. However, as far as the new bays themselves go, I have some opinions. Again, I said RhinoHorn's pretty boring, so it's whatever, but DranDagger and Hellscythe, there's 2 ways you could look at these. First up is if they are evolutions to DranSword and Hellscythe, and also you could look at them in kind of a side view. Like, are these meant to be side base? Are the characters going to maybe have DranSword and Hellscythe still, but then also have these new bays? And it's kind of like a deck thing. You can maybe swap them out during battles. We've seen Multi do this in the manga, where she could use, you know, Night Shield or Wizard Arrow or, you know, whatever. That's pretty cool. And I think maybe if they were like that, where it's like, okay, like X-Cross is using, you know, Drawn Sword, but maybe, you know, he wants to kind of really go down like the X-Dash thing, so instead he swaps out to, you know, DranDagger. Okay, this base not as crazy, and then you can have like a crazy moment where it's like, oh wait, this base like way faster. You can kind of like balance between the two, as well as, you know, Hellscythe and HellsChain. That'd be interesting. And in that regard, I think that these evolutions, not evolutions, like these kind of side bays are they're interesting. They're like decent enough, I would say. They're not like, I wish they put more effort into them overall. I wish they were all new parts, but I'm not gonna be overly upset about them. They're just kind of whatever. I feel like they're decent enough, but like, I don't know, they're not as crazy. But if these are meant to be actual evolutions, these actually kind of suck. I feel like Drawn Sword and Hellscythe are perfectly fine as is. We don't need the new blades or ratchets here for them, really. Like, I wouldn't care if it was like, oh, they're upgrade, like, maybe like you have like extra pieces in these sets or something. It was like, oh, you could maybe swap out taper for high taper, or rush for flat. If it was like that, where maybe it was just, they were just like on like random stock base, for example, it was meant to be like a new thing to swap out, almost like a Belial gear type of thing from Burst. Like, not the same, obviously, but again, just like new parts to swap out. Something like that would be fine for the bits, but I feel like these overall base wing evolutions, absolute L. So yeah, overall though for November, what do I think about it? I think it is, depends on how you look at it. If these are side bays, I think November's okay. You have a boring booster, and then each set, I guess for kind of the extra stock bays, got some cool stuff, but a lot of stuff that just doesn't need to be there. And the main bays for each one are okay. So November, yeah, it's decent enough. However, if these are evolutions, November kind of sucks, because again, for the reasons I just stated, but also the new bays for the sets are kind of just not great. Depends on how you look at it. Hopefully this should give us our answer, though, because I feel like there's a lot of debate about Night Lance and whether or not it's an evolution or kind of just an extra bay that Multi has. Hopefully these two bays will answer that question of whether or not we're just getting a ton of evolutions at the start for some reason, or if these are meant to just be side bays that the characters can swap between. Really hoping for the latter there. So yeah, there you go. Those are the November releases. Overall, again, I'm not too positive towards these. I just think that they're kind of boring overall. I'm not the biggest fan of each set. I don't care about the booster in the slightest. Yeah, no, I'm not really looking forward to the November releases all that much. I will get them still. I will still get them when they come out. I've been debating on whether or not I wanted to do that, but I figure, yeah, they are related to Drawn Sword and Hellscythe. I kind of want to get them sooner rather than later, so I'll definitely pick up these when they come out, and then also in December when the starter comes out, I'll get that right away. After that, though, I can't really guarantee I'll be getting X stuff on time anymore, because I just genuinely don't care about it. However, I will still be doing these discussions on time whenever new products are announced. But unboxings themselves, they might take longer. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how December is, and how maybe my opinions could change in the November stuff once I have it in hand. We'll see. But for now, not looking forward to it too much. I think it just looks like a very, very okay month, and kind of underwhelming for such a big release month, at least in my opinion. So anyway, that's about it for this video. So yeah, anyway, okay, I can't talk. Why can't I do an outro? Yeah, thanks for watching, and goodbye.